How's everyone doing? I've got a cup of tea. It's cold out here. Is everybody feeling fine and well? Keeping your immune system up? You guys tried any fire cider yet? I'm a big fan of fire cider, and it's so easy to make. So let me tell you about fire cider. It's made out of apple cider vinegar. You want to use apple cider vinegar that has the mother. And you add vegetables, fruits that help with your immune system. And I'm still battling this cat. Sorry. And you add that to your fire cider and you let it sit for 4 weeks. And then after 4 weeks, you strain it and you drink it as basically a shot every day for maintenance, or when you get sick, you can up it. But what I put in there is the fire cider with mother, the apple cider vinegar with the mother. I put hot peppers, and that's where it gets the name fire cider. So you put hot peppers. I've even put California Reapers in there, chili peppers, just jalapeno peppers, anything with heat. I'll put horseradish root in there. I'll put turmeric, which is very good for immune boosting. Ginger, very good for immune boosting. Garlic, another good one. You put onions in there, and we have all heard the benefits of onions. And then I put herbs in there also. I'll put burdock root in there, mullein, because during cold and flu season, that helps with your chest and lungs. It has a long-term shelf life, just like your Bragg's apple cider vinegar that you buy in the store, because you're straining all that out. It's not going to have any live vegetables in there, or fruit, because you put fruit in there also. You can put pomegranates in there. You can put just lemons. You can put limes, oranges, grapefruit. I'll put marshmallow root in there because that's very good. It has mucilage in it also, along with mullein, and it helps coat. You could put slippery elm in there to help with coughs. But you let it ferment for 4 weeks. The longer the better, though. I mean, let's be real. You want to chop all those vegetables up small so you're getting more surface area in there. Hi, Lady Love. How are you? We're talking about fire cider. But then you strain it when you decide that, you're ready to do so. And like I said, you add honey to it afterwards, so you can sweeten it if you would like. I do both. For the version that I give to my family and friends, I'll put local unfiltered raw honey in there, because a lot of time kids won't drink it unless you make it palate pleasable. Oh, it's definitely good for little ones. That's what I'm saying. You want to add the honey to it or they won't touch it. You could put elderberries in there. But for example, today I had to go into the office, and when I know I'm going to be around a lot of people, and I work for a university/medical center, I have meetings in the hospital many times. I'm in meetings with, coworkers, with suppliers. People are shaking hands nowadays. It's no longer the elbow bump, So, hey, Nicole. So, I took my shot of it this morning, and you add a little bit of water to it because you don't want to down, apple cider vinegar. You add water to it to mellow it out a little bit. I've got my scalp scratcher, by the way. That actually gets blood flow to the scalp to help hair grow. Omit the hot peppers then. Omit them. You don't have to have the hot peppers in there. You can put enough that it's not spicy. The reason that you want to put the hot peppers or the cayenne in there is because that opens up the blood vessels and it gets the blood going. And so when the blood gets moving, that boosts your immune system too. It gets those blood cells and those white blood cells moving throughout the body to fight. It gets that army going. Drissy, we're talking about fire cider. It is apple cider vinegar with the mother, and you can add hot peppers, any type of hot peppers, cayenne. You cut all these items up. Fruit-wise, you can put pomegranates, you can put elderberries, lemons, limes, grapefruit, oranges. As far as vegetables or root vegetables, you could put horseradish, turmeric, ginger, garlic, onion in there. Herbs that you would feel necessary, and then let it ferment for a minimum of 4 weeks. I like to let mine go longer. And then you can add honey to it. For what we use here, I don't add honey to it. I have in the past, but here recently we aren't, because we're trying to go low carb. And even though honey is natural, it has a lot of carbs in it. So, and also I'm thinking about, well, I'm not thinking, I'm actually going to do a parasite cleanse. So I'm trying to get all the sugar and carbohydrates out of my body before I start that. So it's a clean transition, so to speak. I'd rather get all that junk and have my system be clear of carbs and sugar. Recommend for kidney bladder infection. So you would want to look at a diuretic. You want to flush your system. So something that's really good for the liver and kidneys would be cleavers, chicory, dandelion, plantain would be really good, and you can find that right in your yard, as long as you don't use, any type of chemicals on there. You made the oil of oregano tincture. I didn't know to put the cloth in. Oh, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. When it comes to oil, you don't need that barrier between your tincture and the jar and the lid. You really just need that when you're dealing with the alcohol, and usually, like, sometimes apple cider vinegar, if you're using a strong apple cider vinegar, because you may get corrosion. The oil's not going to give you a corrosion on that lid, so you're good. You're good. What is in a parasite cleanse? I do make it myself. Oh, yeah. So you're at 8 weeks. One thing, I'll explain the parasite cleanse. But on the oil of oregano tincture, did you happen to warm it up? Not heat it, but warm it up a little bit? Because you want to kind of do that and then let it sit a little bit longer, because it kind of activates. That heat's going to help. And again, it's not hot. It's just a warmness. So you just want to get that warmness in there to help activate, get that oil to help pull out those nutrients. Okay, thank you. And what would I do with the dandelion? That's one thing I have on hand in my yard. Okay, so you'd want to yes, and then strain it, and then bottle it. With the dandelion, you want to go ahead and, I'm assuming you have the infection now, you would not want to have to wait to dry out your leaves. So, and every part of it is usable. Your leaves, your flower, your roots. So you could so a tincture is a tincture. So when I'm explaining the tincture here, you do this with 90% folk method. This is how you're going to do it. Okay, so you can pick the leaves, the root, the flowers, you clean them off. And again, you don't want to make sure any pesticides. You want to be mindful if you have neighbors. If they are using something on their yard and it rains, it can run off. So you need to be mindful of that too. Sorry, my eye, I've got something in my eye. But so you take those roots, you clean them off, the flowers, the leaves, you put them in a jar, and you want to use a higher proof alcohol. You want to go 100 plus, and it can't be flavored. The reason I'm suggesting higher is because they're fresh leaves. If you're dealing with leaves that are dried, you know, you could use a lower alcohol. But if you have it now, which you're saying, yes, you do, you don't even have the time to wait for a tincture. So I would start off with drinking teas of dandelion. I would just drink a tea. Just do a tea. But don't boil them. Don't get the water hot enough to where you're boiling them. Let it sit. Do a decoction. So a decoction means you're going to take those herbs and you are going to put them in a pot of water and you are going to get them to a low simmer. And you're going to do that for 30 minutes. You just want to pull out all those nutrients. And this is when you need immediate help. And of course, a tincture is going to be stronger, but the tea is going to be best. And since you only have dandelion at hand, try that. Also, you would want to drink some cranberry juice, sugar-free, no sugar. So no cranberry cocktail, nothing like that. You want to use the cranberry. And going back to the individual who asked about the parasite. So what I use in mine is black walnut hull. I use wormwood and fig leaves. One part of each when you're making your tincture. And tincture again is with alcohol. You're welcome, Lizzie. And then, Lizzie, another thing you might want to do is maybe make sure one day, if that doesn't take care of it, order something like some chicory herbs, because that will help in the event that you, what do I want to say? You may have a blockage, so you would want to actually look at maybe getting, I'm not saying you have a blockage. I'm not saying that. But if it doesn't go away and if you go to the doctor and they say you have a blockage, if you don't want to use the medical drugs, you can actually go and get, what is it? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just having, between work and I was doing some videos, I'm kind of drawing a blank here. What is it? It's not cramp bark. Cleavers. Jeez. Cleavers with cramp bark. Just an FYI, everybody, if you have a kidney stone, cleavers with cramp bark and lobelia. It's really good. I used to mentor with a veterinarian, and he was really into using herbal to help animals, and that's what we did. Back to the parasite, wormwood, black walnut, and fig leaf. For my binder, I'm going to use activated charcoal. Let's see. Lindsay, you made your fermented rice water. Yay, I know. Mine is going to be ready tomorrow also. And in the morning, I'm going to take care of that. And I didn't mention, when you look at it, if it's soaked up more water than we thought it was, that sometimes happens with different strains of rice. Let's see. Low libido. Low libido, there are a few things that you can take. You can take ginkgo biloba with red Korean ginseng. If you are under any physician care or anything like that, if you're a man and you're taking the blue pill, that's not something you really want to do. Or if you have, low blood sugar, or excuse me, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, you wouldn't want to do that because it's going to open up the blood vessels. A woman, Dong Quai, Chinese medicine is very good for females on their libido. You're welcome, Lizzie. Let me look. There was one other one for libido. Let me get my trusty spreadsheet out here because I can't remember everything, guys. I apologize. Peony root. Peony root is very good. Now, blue vervain is also good, but just a heads up, a blue vervain, if you take too much, can make, you might feel a little bit frisky at the beginning, but you're going to end up going to sleep because it's a sedative. So you got to watch the amount of that. Postmenopause. Well, it really depends on what your problems are postmenopause. I'm postmenopause. I still have my hot flashes and things like that, which I do use valerian for. I tried red clover because it's really has been said to be good for hot flashes, night sweats, and things like that. And the reason that it's good for that, it's high in estrogen. So, I thought, okay, this is a hormonal thing. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Now, that was actually like 6 months into, how they say you're officially in menopause when you go 12 months without having a period. I was 6 months into my menopause journey and took red clover, and I had a period because it had estrogen. So you got to watch that. And it happened to another friend of mine too. But the good thing about red clover, and this is the struggle that older women that are going through menopause experience, is that we also see osteoporosis come about as we get older and our bones get a little bit more brittle, denser, things like that. Well, red clover has been shown to help cure osteoporosis. So you're kind of between a rock and a hard place because do you want to start your period and have that chance? Myself, I would take the chance and have my body fight itself internally to deal with the osteoporosis. Activated charcoal. Well, it depends on how you want to use it. If you're using it for, somebody ingesting something that they shouldn't have, you just give a tablespoon, depending on age, little kids, you wouldn't give that much. But if you're using it for a binder, I just did a video on Candida, which you can use that as a binder. And also a parasite cleanse, you would use 1 teaspoon for after you would take whatever it is you're taking for Candida parasite cleanse, and it's all you need to do. Okay, red clover. I would take red clover also because PCOS. PCOS. There are a few things that can help you with PCOS. I've done a lot of research in the last 6 months, and let me see if I can help you with that. Red clover is one of them, and it's actually one of the first ones on my list. Black Hash Dong Quai. This is for, it's a Chinese herb used in Chinese medicine. I'm not going to say it's a Chinese herb. So Dong Quai is DONQUAI root. And it improves the blood flow to your pelvis. So that's going to help balance your hormones. And it also actually helps to strengthen the uterus. So that's one of them. Now keep in mind, what are my notes here? It may help ease many of the undesirable effects of PCOS. But if you're using it during a month when you're trying to conceive, okay, this is very important. If you're using it when you're trying to conceive, You need to stop it once you've ovulated and once you've had your period. So once you've ovulated, stop it. And then you can take it again. But also blue vervain can induce menstruation, regulate cycles, and reduce PMS symptoms too. Uh, let's see, irregular period. There you go. Irregular cycles, blue vervain. That's a good one. Red clover may help also because it has a natural estrogen in it. Dermatitis treatment. Well, internally, dermatitis is a broad word. Donquai is DONQUAI. So dermatitis issues, that's a very broad word. That could be, a plethora of things. Itchy skin. That's the same person that told me? Okay, itchy skin. So I just did a video on candida. A lot of times skin issues can be a result of candida. So I'm not going to drive you guys crazy and give you the 6-minute, 10-minute dissertation. Well, it's a 10-minute video on my YouTube channel, but on TikTok I don't go into as much detail as I do normally on YouTube. But when you have candida, we all have candida in our gut. And normally our body can fight it off, we have good gut microbes in our stomach that fight it off. But for people, for example, that have had to take a lot of antibiotics, if you have high stress, allergies, things like that, candida can overtake the gut. And it can result in itchy skin, rashes, a lot of skin irritations in general. So you're all going to think I'm crazy, but this does work. What you have in your kitchen, coconut oil. Coconut oil will treat the internal candida fungi very quickly. A lot of people don't like the taste of it. You don't want to put it in your mouth. I used to add it to my coffee or my tea. You can cook with it. You can get MCT oil. But the nutrients and the acids that you need to help kill that fungi in your gut isn't as dominant in MCT oil as it is in coconut oil. But other than that, for rashes, you would want to look at tea tree oil and use a carrier oil with that. Coconut oil. There you go. You're using both. Also, chamomile lotion. Calendula is wonderful for skin issues. So that would be something else that you could look at. Anxiety. Anxiety has, there's quite a bit you can take. Let's see. Anxiety. Of course, St. John's wort and all these you want to be cautious of if you are taking any type of depressants or anxiety medicines. So, St. John's wort. You can use yarrow. Another one is... why am I just pulling total blanks out of my mind? You know what I think? I think my brain needs to reset itself because I get on a tangent about something and then I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Holy basil could be used. I put that in my nephew's anxiety. That's why I make anxiety teas and not only teas, but tinctures. And I'm just, like I said, sometimes. Okay, I already mentioned chamomile, St. John's wort, yarrow, lemon balm, motherwort, passion flower, holy basil, blue vervain, and I like kava kava. You don't need a lot of it. I've never experienced it. But if you happen to Google it up or look it up or anything like that, they would say it gives you a euphoric feeling. No. But everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Karen K. I do. I space out. Especially on days, when you go, and when I work from home, it's not so bad because kind of at my own pace. But when you're in the office and you just have people that come in randomly and just are, have a problem. Because I'm basically put out fires all day long. Not really a firefighter, but I solve problems. Tincture for lung cleaning or lung health. My number one, I would say, is going to be mullein. Mullein is great. Marshmallow root is also very good. What else would be really good? Grindelia. That's another good one. Grindelia actually used to be used back in the 60s for asthma and lung issues. I ground up basil leaves, going to make a tea tomorrow. Ooh, nice. I enjoy holy basil. Is it just regular basil or is it holy basil? I have mullein drops and mullein tea. I have. Are you asking if you can put mullein drops in the mullein tea? Yes, you can put mullein drops into the basil tea. Yes, you can. I know, putting out fires. Man. What was the name? And I never watched it. It was just some MTV about all these kids at a beach. And it was one of those reality shows, and they had some guy's name on there they called him the Situation or something like that. I used to tell people, I'm the answer. I'm the solution. That's what we should all do, make up our own little names. I guess we kind of do on here. What can help me with chicken pox? So itching. Chicken pox is going to have to run its course. That's just, it is what it is, unfortunately, Susie. But you can help with the itching. You can give chamomile lotion, of course. I did just run across something as I say that, I do remember. Give me a moment. I did come across something for chicken pox. Maybe I wrote it down, maybe I didn't. If I didn't, the solution. Yes, we are the solution. No, I didn't write it down. I apologize. As far as chicken pox, oatmeal bath, whatever that one that chamomile lotion, oil of oregano to help with the itching, a calendula. You can make poultices too, that can also help. Itching throat. I don't know. Let me get to that one here. But all of those that I mentioned on the chicken pox, make a poultice and you can put it on the areas to help with the itching. As far as fever, anything like that, let the body run its course on a fever unless it gets too high, and then you address it. But don't jump to be throwing anything in the body to reduce a fever. That's the way that our body knows how to fight off infections. You need to let the fever go a little bit, put a cold rag on their heads and things like that. Bone inflammation and aches. So bone inflammation, you just need inflammatory herbs. I have and it's weird. Today I was just thinking to myself, I'm old, I'm overweight. I ripped all the cartilage and ligaments in a knee. How old's my son? He's 35. So 35 years ago I did, and they told me I was going to have a knee replacement in 10 years. Here we are, never had the knee replacement, and it gets achy, and when my inflammation gets high. Today I just told myself, God, I'm not hurting, so I'm going to knock on wood. Look at inflammation drugs like cleavers, dandelion. Let's see here. Hold on. I apologize, guys. I just can't think of everything all at once. Da, 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 da. Okay. Milk thistle's another good one. Dandelion, burdock root, Oregon grape, hops. Those things will help take the inflammation out. But you got to take it daily. It doesn't do any good at all to just take it when you feel the pain. This has to keep that flow in there so that inflammation stays away. You might have to take it twice a day, but you're going to have to stick to whatever you find works for you, but consistency is the key. Aches, once you get rid of that inflammation, it'll go away. Also, get rid of the sugar and the carbs. Itchy throat. I'm not sure why you have an itchy throat, but maybe look at some marshmallow root or gargling with some salt water, warm salt water. Is it better to make oregano as a tincture or with olive oil? I prefer oil of oregano because olive oil is cold pressed, and cold pressed with anything means that they are not using any heat on it to make it. So let's think about olive oil, and a tincture has alcohol, okay? Alcohol really doesn't have any medicinal properties that, the old timers used to say it's for medical purposes that they were drinking, but it really doesn't. Oil of oregano does. It's cold pressed. That means they're not using any heat when they're pressing it, so you're getting all those medicinal properties from the olive leaves and the olive whatever they use to make it. So I prefer oil of oregano. Rice water. I missed it, Lindsay. I don't know what that was referring to. What can I do for arthritis pain? What I just explained on the inflammation will help the arthritis pain. Also, as far as pain, take a look at cramp bark or devil's claw. Either one of those. Itching throat, be related to, yes, definitely. If you have allergies, try buying local raw honey. It's Angie's World. Same here, but ANJI World over on YouTube. Thank you. California poppy. I ordered seeds and I planted my own. And I love California poppy. Yep, you can strain that oil of oregano even after 4 months. Longer it sits, the better. I made the camo with olive oil. It has almost no flavor. Oh, yes. Okay, Lindsay. That's very true. It doesn't have any flavor. That's weird. You would think the oregano would have a decent flavor because when you use oregano on your food, it would. Did you keep it in sunlight or did you keep it out of sunlight? Because if you keep it in sunlight, and it's regardless of what kind of jar, it can pull and it can ruin it. Carpal. You know what? I'd probably add more oregano to it. It can't hurt you to put more oregano in it, honestly, just to try to make it a little stronger. Okay, carpal tunnel. You can look at some nervine herbs, but it depends on how far your carpal tunnel is. because I have a little bit of carpal tunnel too. And I've tried to find something that will actually help internally to help those nerves. They're few and far between. I would suggest what does help me topically. I have a good pain relief. Let me see if this is it. So, you know, you could try like the California poppy for pain, or you could try, you know, a tincture. You could try that. You could try catnip, but that might knock you out too. So a lot of the things that help with pain. Turmeric, I take turmeric every day, and I take ginger. So I would honestly encourage that too, because that's going to get rid of any inflammation around it. Wakes you up at night. Do you take turmeric every day and ginger every day? And I'm not looking, I wouldn't suggest any pills. Well, I'm going to be honest. You know, go with fresh, organic, fresh. There's actually a person on Etsy. Do a search of organic, fresh turmeric and ginger. And this company, they grow it, and I believe they're in the South where they can grow it all year round. And they have good bundles sometime for 20 bucks. You're getting a shit ton of organic turmeric and organic ginger. Hold on, I'll show you. This is just the turmeric that I recently got from him. I got just as much ginger for $20. Total, ginger and turmeric. 20 bucks. So after I get it, though, I do set it out because it is a little damp. I think he's freezing them, and that's fine. It's not going to hurt. I have it frozen in my refrigerator freezer, too. But I dry it out because you can get fungus on it really easy. But that's going to be used. I'm getting ready to make some more fire cider, so that's what that's going to be used for. But do you use, what kind of turmeric do you use? Are you using turmeric powder? Are you grinding that powder yourself? Because keep in mind, and I'm not trying to bash anything, but man, they add a lot of shit to stuff to make that weight, you know, 5 ounces, whatever. And they don't have to really, this is how I dry it out. And I turn them over every now and then when I see a spot that, oh, that still looks damp. That's all I do. Okay, that will work. Yep. If you decide to go down the route with fresh, you know, add a little bit of water to, you know, turmeric like that, chop it up, put some chopped up ginger root in there too, and add yourself some black pepper, and just add that. It's going to be pure. Hi, Sharon. I have questions. I'm a type 2 diabetic. Lymphedema. Well, lipidemia, they say there is no known cure for, but it can be managed. I've never really dug into herbs for it. If it was me, this is, and I'm not a doctor, this is just me, okay? And I would first look at diet. I don't know, being a type 2 diabetic, if you've always watched your carb intake and your sugar intake. Excuse me. If you're on any medications. But possibly a lymphatic cleanse to clear out the lymph nodes. We have hundreds of lymph nodes through our body. Here, under your armpits, in your chest, down in your stomach, your groin. I mean, they're everywhere. So it's kind of like the plumbing system for the body. If it's getting backed up, you can get illnesses and diseases. So look at a lymphatic cleanse that really may help. And so some herbs that would be in a lymphatic cleanse would be burdock and cleavers and dandelion, milk thistle, things like that. Oh, did they? Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, what we put into our body, that's a big thing, but try to get rid of, watch the diet a little bit. Do a week, do a week. Up your water, add lemon to your water. That's a natural diuretic too, and that's just a lemon and some water. And then try those herbs. Let's see here. Black pepper. I'm just catching up here, guys. Eye floaters. Eye floaters are usually a result, in my experience, high blood pressure, or high sugar sometimes too. I know my mom was a diabetic, and she would always tell me she had floaties. So I would, if you haven't had your blood work done, I would look to see, having your blood work done to see what your numbers are. Test your blood pressure, see where you are there, and then look at, changing that, because you're getting pressure, it sounds like, behind the eyes. Let's see, Susie, what can I give? Sharon, I wish I had more for you. I would possibly also, on high blood pressure, look at high blood pressure herbs if you're not on any medications, or at least research them before you start taking them. I'm not a doctor by any means, but look at holy basil, look at motherwort, look at soursop leaves are really good. Soursop leaves are good for a lot of things, including diabetes. Soursop leaves, holy basil, lemon balm. Lemon balm's good at managing the electrical impulses to the heart, so you have a regular heartbeat. Okay. Do you have a video on lymphatic cleanse? I believe I do. It's under my files, under my recipes, I think. Let's see. Yes, I do have a book. It's always by my side. Can you guys read that, or is it backwards? It's called Medical Herbalism, and it is by David Hoffman. It's pretty good. He'll even in here, he'll go through, what the herb does, if there's any negative reactions, what other herbs go well with it. He'll even at times give recipes and how many parts of what to put in there. But it gives you a starting point. I do like it. Insomnia. I would look at blue vervain. I would look at California poppy, catnip, chamomile, things that mellow you out, It's what I'd look, and I'd look at getting into a routine. I used to be a really bad insomniac. I actually went like 50 hours not being able to sleep. Let me tell you a story. It was bad. I was living in San Antonio at the time. Loved my nurse practitioner that I'd go to, and she's like, we'll give you something, and they end up giving me that Ambien. Didn't do shit. Anything over the counter didn't do anything. And it got to the point in the middle of the night, I was going out to our garage. This is San Antonio in the summertime. It doesn't get cold, cool, anything, ever there, normally. I was out in the garage walking on a treadmill at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. I tried everything. I even woke up one night and did shots of alcohol just so I would pass out. And that week that I just really couldn't sleep, I was married at the time, and my husband's like, we're going to the doctor, because apparently when I was talking to him and his friend, they couldn't understand anything I was saying because I was so sleep deprived. And we were like, you're going to the doctor. We have no idea what you're saying. I knew what I was saying, but it wasn't coming out that way. So yeah, I know about sleeping, and how I changed it. Like I said, all those medications didn't help. I started taking the blue vervain, and I took chamomile. I ended up adding kava kava and California poppy to my routine. But I also got all your senses in. So I had to, like at night, okay, I'm going to take a shower at night to calm me down. Some people, it's a pick me up. So you need to decide if you're that person. Do you normally take a shower in the morning? Well, then that's a pick me up for you because you're usually going. I was an at nighttime person. I didn't really do that in the morning. So, you go through your routines. Turn off the TV, turn off the phone, have some essential oils going in your room, calming music. But you want to get all the senses into it, the taste, the smell, the feeling of the hot shower. You just want to get all those things in, and it did help. I don't have insomnia anymore, so it is what it is. So do you guys have anything else for me, or are we all good? Did I answer everybody's questions? Did I skip over anybody? I don't want to let anybody go unanswered. We're good? All right, guys. Well, thank you for all the likes. Oh, it was horrible not sleeping. It was literally horrible. I never want to be in that. And it's the loneliest time, There's nothing worse. I mean, it's stressful anyways because you can't sleep and you got to get up for work if you work first shift. Or it doesn't matter what shift. You can't sleep. But I know working first shift like I did, and not being able to sleep, everybody's sleeping, and it's so lonely. And then you're stressed about not being able to sleep, and you just... I remember one time, like I said, it was bad. There was one night where I took something over the counter and I was just, like I said, out of it. Didn't realize I took something else. I ended up having to call the poison hotline because I want to make sure I didn't drug myself up because I was so out of it. I had the packages there and they're like, no, you're fine. You didn't hurt yourself. But yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah. Yeah, organization too, mornings, that's hard too. Anybody else get ready the night before? Like have your kids get ready the night before, even yourself. Get things laid out as you think about it. Make yourself lists. I wouldn't be able to survive without lists, getting ready the night before, or putting reminders in my phone. What did we do before cell phones? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I remember before cell phones, though, I will say this, you know what I would do? I would get a Post-it note, and when I'd be at work, and I'm like, okay, I got to remember to stop on the way home before I go to the kids' track meet or whatever it was, swim meet. And all I had to do was take a Post-it note and staple it on the handle of my purse. And when I went to go pick up my purse, I didn't write on the Post-it note, but I saw it and I'm like, oh, I gotta go do that. That was my cell phone reminder back in the day, the 1980s way. Crazy. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for all the likes and all the goodies. I truly appreciate it. I'm going to try to get it here and do more. I would like your input for real quick first, though. Videos. Are there any specific videos or things you guys want to learn? Do you just want me to do various tinctures? Do you want, that's okay. You're fine. Do you guys want, like, do oils? I am going to do an oil of oregano tincture. Somebody asked me to do that. I can do a fire cider vinegar. Do you want to do a specific live that we're doing in something and you're watching me actually do it live? And you know, once we get down into the rabbit hole of tinctures, there's all sorts of things. Hi, Rose. Because let's say, for example, you wanted to do a tincture for mullein, okay? Or marshmallow root. They're very good for cold, lungs, chest, mucus excretion. But you know, you can do that tincture in alcohol and you can strain it. But some of that mucilage that's in those specific herbs, they don't get pulled out in alcohol. So you've got to do a double extract. So then you got to take those herbs that you just strained from your alcohol tincture, and now you got to put them in a pot of water on your stove and do another extraction. And then you join the two together. So mushrooms are the same way. Speaking of mushrooms, let's look at my mushrooms. Let's check out my mushrooms. Do you guys know about my mushrooms? All right. So, I've been wanting to grow mushrooms. I have a family member that has, they were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and through a lot of herbs and studying between him and I, turkey tail mushrooms are absolutely wonderful for mushrooms. Turkey tail mushrooms are wonderful for cancer, by the way. And also mistletoe. Do you realize that mistletoe is used in eight different cancer medicines? 8. Right there tells you how great herbal medicine is. But anyway, and it's usually used over in Europe because, Lord forbid, the FDA approve anything over here. Yeah, really. So we've gotten him started on mistletoe and turkey tail, and he's doing good now. Anyway, that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of mushrooms and reishi mushrooms and lion's mane, turkey tail also. So I thought lion's mane mushrooms, those are so cool. They look like they have hair. They look so hippie, and by heart, I'm a hippie. So I got this package. When I first got it, it was this brown color, all brown. This is the birth date. On January 8th, they actually inoculated it. They put the spores in there for the lion's mane. And so here we are today, and you can see the white mushroom lion's mane. You can't see it on here because of, and I can't take it out. But can you see how they're kind of bumpy and all that good stuff? So those are the actual mushrooms growing. And back here, like I said, this is actually closed. You can't open it at all. This is a filter where they actually breathe. And the only thing you really have to do is you have to make sure these white spores don't start growing up here. So you just got to make sure this stays clean, because you don't want those mushrooms or those spores to cover that. Now, I should be able to get 2 to 3 harvests from this. I've got a couple more weeks yet, because you can tell they're really, really small. This was, I got it on Etsy. The guy's name is, let's see, let me look here. Mushroom Man of Peatone. And I know it's backwards for you guys, sorry. Just turkey tail for the cancer. Yeah, it's really cool, but no, it wasn't expensive. So let me give you a comparison, actually. Hold on. I don't know if you guys are, excuse my kitchen back here. It was a work day. And I was coming home and hurrying up and doing everything. You guys know what Whole Foods is. It's a all-natural type of grocery store, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, hold on one second. No, and I bought this there. This is actually lion's mane, okay? They've added oats to this, okay? And lion's mane's good for memory, focus, and nerve health, okay? But according to the ingredients, they've added oats, and that's a filler. And that's why I say about vitamins and blah, 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 blah. They add all kinds of shit to stuff. I paid $15 for this. I paid $35 for this, and I'm going to get 2 or 3 harvests out of this. This right here is going to blow this out of the wind. So, yeah, here's it's the Mushroom Man Apeatone. But I'm really pleased with it. If you guys have ever been interested in doing, you know, any type of mushroom growing, there's also a guy on TikTok. He's out of Austin. He also does the self-grow bags. You don't have to do anything. You just open them up, and because when this was packaged, it was packaged so that filter, they couldn't breathe. So they were like sleeping in hibernation once I opened it, you know. Yeah, it's very cool. It's my first time doing this, so it'll be interesting. All right, guys. I know that, what's a good herb replacement for coffee? Chicory. You know, back in the day, they used to give the Civil War soldiers chicory with dirt, actually, for coffee. But if you're into mushroom therapy, they have mushroom coffee. Who knew? All right, guys. Peace out. Stay healthy. And, hey, like, share, and follow the videos. My goal is to get to 10,000 followers. And I'm like at, I don't know, like 9,060 something. So, share it. Share it. And don't forget to shake your tinctures, guys. You're in a love relationship with these things. They need you. Stay healthy, guys. Bye-bye.